What if I told you that every single doubt, fear, and limiting belief that's been holding you back isn't even real? What if everything you've been struggling with isn't real? What if the very thing keeping you from your desires is nothing more than a trick of the mind? Today is the day you will break this illusion for good. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why everything that says that you can't is a lie, and how you can let it go for good. You know how it goes. You watch manifestation videos, you read about success stories, and they say, oh, I visualized for X amount of days, or I affirmed for 2 weeks, and I got my manifestation. I got $100,000. I got my specific person back. I got my dream job. I became famous. I blew up on Instagram or whatever. And you say, okay, so many people have done it. That means that it works. Let's do this thing. So you decide on what you want to manifest, and it is something that is important to you. Maybe you really need the money, or maybe you really want your specific person back. And you imagine, and you affirm, and you give it time, and you truly get into the state of the wish fulfilled. You are truly feeling it, you know. You feel that you are together. You feel that you have the job. You feel that you have the money. But nothing happens. And then what happens? Then you try to figure out why it didn't work, why it didn't manifest, and you ask me or you ask other people, why didn't it manifest when I did everything that those other people did who got their desire, and I have the same desire as those people, so why did they get their desire and I failed to manifest it? But what if you didn't fail to manifest it? What if you're just holding on to the wrong reality? Here's the thing, it doesn't matter what I say, and it doesn't matter what anybody else says about why this hasn't shown up in your 3D reality yet. You know whose opinion matters? Your opinion matters. Because the reason it hasn't shown up in your physical reality yet is because of something you are telling yourself, some kind of excuse you're using to justify why you can't have that thing. And here's how this shows up. You are imagining that you are together with your specific person, and then you run across that person and they are with somebody and you think this is a third party. That's the first thing you tell yourself. My specific person is with a third party. Many people do it even if they have no proof that there is a third party. They might truly be their cousin or their sister or a co-worker, but they make the story that this is a third party. So they tell themselves, I failed to manifest it. I cannot have this. I imagined, I did it right, and they still ended up with a third party. It just isn't working. I should give up. You know what this whole story is? This is just a made-up story you're telling yourself. It is not real. Not even a little bit. And you know how I know that this is a made-up story? Even though I don't know your circumstances, I don't know your specific person, I don't know if there is a third party. I know that this thing is just a made-up story that you're telling yourself, because absolutely everything you're telling yourself is a made-up story. Everything in your reality is a made-up story. There is no such thing as reality. Reality as a whole is an illusion. Everything that shows up in your reality is an illusion. Your specific person has a third party, that is an illusion. If you have a great job right now, making, I don't know, $5 million a year, you know what that is? That is an illusion, that is a made-up story. Because everything is a made-up story. Not just the good, not just the bad. Everything is a made-up story. Every single aspect of your life, every single area of your life, all the things you love, all the things you hate, all the things you want to get rid of, all the things that you cannot get over that happened in the past, every single one of those things are just made-up stories. None of them are real, because the whole of reality gets created through the stories you tell yourself. But what happens is, in your mind, you have this distinction that what I see in my 3D reality, as well as the thoughts that I have kept thinking for years, even if they're negative thoughts, even if they make me feel terrible, those are real. Those are the real things. That is the real world. And what I'm imagining to manifest my desire, that is not actually real. That is fantasy. That is not reality. And if it doesn't show up in my 3D reality, that means that it was just wishful thinking and stuff I had been focusing on to make myself feel better, but it will never happen. That is not true. The things in your physical reality, in your 3D right now, are all illusions based on a story that you made up. The things in your mind that you're focusing on to manifest, those are just illusions based on a story that you made up. They are the same thing. There is no distinction between what you're imagining and your 3D reality because it's all a simulation, it's all an illusion. By the way, if you're new here, hi, I'm Scarlett Grace, I'm a manifestation coach, and I'm here to help you manifest your heart's desires. If you want my support to manifest your desires, coaching is available and you will find the links in the description below. So, the memories that you have, the traumatic memories that keep coming up and making you feel terrible and making you feel that you're not the kind of person who can get that manifestation, or that you don't deserve it, or whatever, those are just illusions. The things that trigger you in your physical reality when you notice them and they make you feel bad and they take you out of the state of the wish fulfilled, those are just illusions. The things other people tell you about what you can or cannot do that trigger you, that make you feel bad, that make you feel dissatisfied, the things that other people tell you about what you can or cannot do, those are just illusions. And that is why you haven't been able to beat them. Because how do you beat an illusion? Picture that for a moment. You're in your living room and suddenly the hologram of a ninja appears. How can you beat the hologram of a ninja? Can you use what you know about martial arts to beat the crap out of them? No, because they're a hologram. Can you actually try to reason with them and get them to go away? No, because they're a hologram. The only way to beat the hologram is to just turn the machine off that powers the hologram. There is nothing else that can work because they're not actually real. They are an illusion. They are just a projection, nothing more. And you could just not do anything about it, you know? Since it's an illusion, since it is just a hologram of a ninja, you can just ignore the ninja and keep going about whatever you were going about before the hologram of the ninja appeared and not pay any attention to it because you know it's not real. Ninja is there, you're over here drinking your coffee. Ninja is there, you're over here watching Netflix, you know? Until whoever created it gets bored with it because it doesn't have any effect on you and switches it off. Whatever it is that has been troubling you, whatever it is that you feel is standing in the way of your manifestation, whether it has to do with other people, whether it has to do with something in your physical reality that you feel is oh so real and such a huge obstacle, or it has to do with something inside you like I'm not good enough to have it, I do not deserve it, I could never be able to do this, or whatever, you can just let it go now. And that's the only way to make it disappear. And let me tell you something. This impression that you have, that you failed to manifest your desire, this is actually fake too. You know why? Because when we manifest, we do not create things out of scratch in the current reality. When we manifest, we move to a reality where what we want already exists and is already ours. And that thing is already created. You don't have to create it, it is already done. Neville Goddard said that creation is finished. Every possible version of the past, of the present, and of the future already exists. If you can want something, if you can desire something, that is confirmation that there is a reality where you have that thing. End of story. So you didn't fail to manifest it. You can never fail to manifest it. You just didn't manage to move from this reality to that reality over there where that thing is already yours. And the reason is because you have been holding on to something here in this reality, something nasty, something that makes you feel bad, something that brings you down. That is just a made-up story, but you're treating it as real. You're treating it as reality. So you have, for example, this belief that I am never chosen. And that belief is like a boulder, and you're holding on to that boulder here. And all the powers, all the forces trying to move you over there to the reality where you have the relationship where you're chosen, they cannot move you because you are tied to that boulder here. You tied yourself to that boulder that keeps you in this reality. That's all that's happening. But the boulder is an illusion. And whatever is tying you to the boulder is an illusion too. You can just let go now. You don't need any technique other than realizing this is just a story that I made up in my mind about this thing. It isn't actually real. It doesn't exist. I don't have to find a way to overcome it. I don't have to fix it. I don't have to heal it. All I have to do is realize that it's an illusion and let it go. It has no meaning. It has no power. The fight is over because you don't need to fight against that thing. Take a deep breath. Let it go. It's not real anyway. You can just let it go. It is safe to let it go. Take a deep breath and just let it go. All those painful memories from your past, whether they have to do with your family or with being bullied or with school, with friends that betrayed you, with past relationships that hurt you, all of that stuff, those are just made-up stories in your mind. You can just let it all go. They don't have to mean anything about what is going to happen to you from now on unless you persist on treating them as real, unless you keep focusing on them, unless you keep trying to find ways to overcome them or beat them or erase them or prove to the world that you're not that person anymore. You don't have to do any of that. It's like fighting the hologram of the ninja. It doesn't work. Just let it all go. That's all you need to do. Just let it go. Whatever triggered you today, whatever made you feel bad, whatever made you feel envious or jealous about another person because they have the thing that you want and you have fought so hard to make it happen. You have spent so much time imagining and affirming and scripting and visualizing and working hard in the physical world to make it happen. But it doesn't happen for you. It hasn't happened for you, and it happened for that person over there, and they didn't even try, They decided to experiment with something, and in a week or in a month, they got what you were trying to create for years. And isn't that unfair? All that is a made-up story. You can just let it go. The mistakes you feel that you cannot get over, maybe you did things and you embarrassed yourself and you just cannot let go of that. And you feel that everybody sees you as the person who made a fool of themselves. You can just let it go. It's an illusion. The mistakes that you've made that hurt people, that you feel destroyed things in your life that you're never going to get back. That is just a made-up story. You can let it go now. You don't have to prove to the world that you're a different person. If you let it go, your reality will shift into a reality where you don't have to prove anything to anybody because everything is already the way you want it. I challenge you right now. If you accept this challenge, I want you to spend 2 weeks, and every time a memory from the past that you don't like pops up, or something happens in your physical reality that triggers you, or you have a thought that brings you down, or somebody tells you that you cannot do, be, or have the thing that you want to do, be, or have, I want you to stop and think, this isn't actually real. This doesn't mean absolutely anything. This is just a story I made up. Do that every time something like that happens for a full 2 weeks and see what happens in your 3D reality when you stick to this. Because I can tell you right now that this will change everything when it comes to what you can and cannot manifest. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon because I put out new videos every Sunday to help you manifest an amazing life.